Good evening, all. You are all welcome to the live stream class. I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, just type yes into the chat box. Type yes. Okay. I can see so many of you saying yes. Yes, all right. That's fine. So we are ready for the online class. We are going to discuss today chapter 4 of this course. That is computer hardware preventive maintenance and troubleshooting process. Computer hardware preventive maintenance and troubleshooting. That is what we are going to learn today. Okay? So you can be jotting. Now, when you have questions, you can type it into the chat box so that I can respond. All right. Computer preventive maintenance and troubleshooting. That's the discussion for today. We want to learn about preventive maintenance and troubleshooting on computer. When we say troubleshooting, we mean the act of finding faults and correcting them when there is a fault on the computer system. Now, we want to know what preventive maintenance involves, how we can troubleshoot problems with our PC and peripheral devices. Then we are going to describe steps that we are going to be taking in troubleshooting or repairing a computer system. I hope you can hear me clearly. If you can hear me clearly, just say yes into the chat box. All right. Now, we want to know, first of all, the benefits of preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance ensure at least that a system does not break down. It helps us to keep our computer running without breaking down, without developing faults, unnecessary faults. Now, there are two factors, at least two factors why there must be preventive maintenance on our computers. One is the computer location or environment. When you operate a computer in a dusty environment, such as construction sites, then such computers should need more attention than other computers that are operated in the office. For instance, in this part of the world, the period that we are now, we are in period of harmattan dry season, there is a lot of dust. And so when you operate your computer, you will often discover that when you come, you see dust accumulated probably on the keyboard, on the screen, on the monitor, on the system unit, and so on and so forth. The environment contributes, to the need for preventive maintenance. Then computer use, that's the second factor. If your computer is one that is highly used, that has a lot of use, such as the one used on high traffic networks, like in a school network, we need additional maintenance, which involves scanning and removal of malicious software and unwanted files. Malicious software, that is what we normally term as virus. The normal common name that we call them is virus. So this malicious software that they are in various categories. So when you scan your system regularly, you try to remove them. All right. Now let's talk about dust. When you want to carry out preventive maintenance and then you want to remove dust from your computer, what do you do? What do you need? You will need a cloth, a piece of cloth, a duster to clean first the outside of the computer case. Clean the outside of the computer case. Remove all the dust by means of a small piece of cloth or a duster. Now, if you are using a cleaning product, maybe a liquid, make sure it is very small that you apply to the clothes. Then wipe it on the surface of the outside surface of the computer, not the inside, outside of the computer. Now, when you open the computer, you now see a lot of dust that has accumulated inside the computer. After removing dust from the outside, you will see that even the inside has actually, retained dust. Dust had accumulated on the inside, on the components inside the computer case. So this accumulated dust can also prevent a good flow of air to cool the computer components. So we need to remove dust, particularly dust and cobwebs on the perforations at the back of the computer may block the holes, the openings created for air for air to move in and out of the computer to cool the computer. And when the computer is not being cooled very well, the components may get too hot and it can cause breakdown of components. There are so many parts in the computer that can be, destroyed by overheating. So we need to remove dust from inside the computer. Now, when we want to do that, we can use compressed air. That is something like a blower that can blow air to remove dust. We can also use a vacuum cleaner. The one that is recommended is a low airflow ESD vacuum cleaner. A low airflow ESD vacuum cleaner. Don't forget about ESD, electrostatic discharge. So when we use a low airflow ESD vacuum cleaner, it will be able to remove the dirt, the dust from the computer, from the components inside the computer. Then there's an important point here. You say a low airflow. If you use a blower that has a very strong airflow, then the air itself can spoil some components inside the computer, such as the fan. The fan is made up of a small plastic, a very small plastic that is not too strong. So a strong airflow can actually break it. And so by trying to carry out maintenance, one can inadvertently cause faults or destroy some components in the computer. That is why a low airflow ESD vacuum cleaner is recommended. And also a small lint-free cloth, a cloth that is free of dirt, can also be used to clean the inside of the computer. Now let's look at the internal components that need to be cleaned, to be inspected for dust and damages. One, the CPU heatsink and fan assembly. The CPU heatsink and fan assembly. Remember, heatsink and fan, they are screwed together and then firmly screwed on top of the CPU. So we need to inspect that area for accumulation of dust and dirt. And then damages on the fan. If the fan has broken, we need to actually replace it. Also, the RAM module. Apart from the RAM modules, we also have storage devices such as the hard drive that needs to be inspected for dust and damages. Also, adapter cards. Remember adapter cards? Cards that have been installed on the expansion slots, such as the NIC card, wireless NIC, TV tuner card, and so on and so forth. We need to inspect them for accumulation of dust. Then cables. The cables also can gather dust. They can gather cobwebs around themselves. So we need to inspect those areas too and clean them. Power devices also. Then keyboard and mouse. Keyboard and mouse are actually outside the system unit, but also they can accumulate dust and can cause a breakdown in their operation. So we need to inspect those parts also, the keyboard and the mouse. Power devices include the power supply unit inside the computer. It also has a fan inside with perforations that lead to the outside of the computer. Dust can accumulate around the perforations also of the power supply unit and then cause less air to be taken to the computer, and that invariably causes overheating of internal components. So we need to remove the dust always. Now let's talk about environment. The computer system need an optimal operating environment. Optimal operating environment. The computer should be clean and free from potential contaminants. Free from potential contaminants. And then the computer must be operated within a temperature and humidity range that is specified by manufacturer. For instance, a temperature range such as 22 degrees C or maybe 71.6 degree Fahrenheit in the American scale is expected for a computer as normal working temperature, and humidity of about 58%. Humidity of about 58%. Around that range, the computer is safe and will operate properly. Now, we want to look at preventive maintenance software. When a software is installed, we need to check whether the software is current, and then we must follow organizational policy when it comes to using of certain software like operating system, system upgrade, security updates, and so on. Organizational policy must be observed. All right. Then, regarding software use, maintenance requires that a user or organization must create a software maintenance schedule. Software maintenance schedule to carry out certain activities such as to review and install the appropriate security software and driver updates. Security software driver updates. Security may be antivirus, anti-spyware, anti-malware, and so on. Then the software like the operating system or apps, application programs that are being used on the system, they may need upgrade or updates. And drivers also. Sometimes a device may stop working even though the device has not gone bad, but the update, it requires a driver update. So when you check the computer, you might be able to see from device manager any of the devices that require an update. It will be marked like a yellow mark. So then we run an update to the driver of such software. All right. Also, unwanted and unused programs on the system must be removed. That is part of preventive maintenance of software. Unwanted and unused programs must be removed. Like some of you might remember, I mentioned that even your phones that you are using for the course, for this course that you are using to log on, make sure you free the memory, delete unwanted files, all those WhatsApp files that you've received, videos that you are no longer using, delete them, free the memory, free the space on your device. It's part of preventive maintenance that we can carry out to ensure that the device is running smoothly and does not break down. Then the last part is scanning hard drive, the computer hard drive for errors, and then carrying out what we call defragmentation of the hard drive. Scanning hard drive for errors. There is a way you can check on Windows where you can check to scan the system hard drive for errors. And the computer will sometimes, when you do that, we fix the errors by itself. Then what we call defragmentation. As the computer is working, some of the software on the computer system can be fragmented, can become broken down and then placed in different parts, different sectors of the hard drive. When you carry out a disk defragmentation, all those broken parts of the software will come together again and they form one unit that will be easy to operate by the system. When they are fragmented, when you operate your system may become very slow, running slowly, because if the system will be looking for the various parts of the program to actually upload it and use it. Now, when you do defragmentation, all these files will come together again and it makes it easy for the computer to use it quickly. All right. Let's look at troubleshooting process. Troubleshooting requires an organized and logical approach to problems. Organized and logical approach to problem. Because problems with computer and other components may be varied and diverse. So for that reason, one has to be organized and plan logically how to carry out preventive maintenance and then troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is a skill that one will develop over time. It's not something that you can just know suddenly. You develop it over time with experience. All right. So before you begin troubleshooting problems on your computer, you must follow certain precautions. And for some of the precautions you need to follow is when you want to start troubleshooting on a computer that has a problem, first of all, you must protect the data of the computer. The data on the computer is very important. It may be necessary to back up all the information on the hard drive of a system before starting work on it, whether software problem or hardware problem. It may be necessary to actually back up all the data on the hard drive, because the repair that you were about to carry out you may need to actually tamper with the files, sometimes even formatting the whole file, the whole drive, and then removing all the data there. But that may not, go well with the owner of the system. So for that reason, there must be a plan to protect the data on the system. And one way is to back up all the files, copying it out onto a separate, hard drive, like an external hard drive to the computer. So that is it. Because after the repair, the owner must not say, "Where are my files? Where are my files? Oh, this one have gone into problem. I can't see this, I can't see that on my computer again." There must be nothing like that. So after repairing, then one can return all the files back to the computer. Now, troubleshooting process. There are six steps in troubleshooting process. Six basic steps that we normally follow in troubleshooting. So we want to learn these six steps. All right. Now, before I go, let me ask you people if you want us to have a small break here. Perhaps you want to ask a question, or you want me to continue just straight to the end of this lecture. The lecture is not too long, and so we are about reaching the half of it now. All right. So let me see your comments in the chat. Can you hear me now? I can see somebody typing. We can't hear you. Can you hear me now? Can you type something? All right. I'm asking a question. If you can hear me, just say yes. I want many people to say yes so that I'll be able to continue. All right. Okay, somebody is asking a question. What is defragmentation? All right. Let me respond to that. I said, as you use a computer system over several months or years, files on the computer can be fragmented. What is meaning of fragmentation? When you say something is fragmented, that it at least has been broken into several pieces. So certain files, certain programs stored on the computer can be broken into several pieces and located in different sector, different areas of the hard drive. And so when you want to use the computer and the computer needs such a program, the computer will be looking for different parts of the program to bring them out and use it so that the user can actually make use of that. That is fragmentation. Now, defragmentation means you want to use the system to correct itself by doing a special scanning, whereby the computer move around and check all the storage device, and programs that have been broken into pieces now brought together once again. And this process can take a long time. It can take hours, several hours, if you want to do disk defragmentation. That's a way that you locate where you can do the defragmentation on your computer. It is an inbuilt system to the Windows operating system that the computer can use as a way of maintenance by itself. So when you carry out defragmentation, your computer can actually, you can use like 4 hours, 5 hours, depending on how large your hard drive is and then how much information you kept on it. Like my last system, not this one I'm using now, I carried out defragmentation one day, like 1 year ago or 1.5 years ago. They, I started defragmentation in my office. I went for the exam invigilation from morning till afternoon till like 2, since morning. The system was still doing the fragmentation, was still running the fragmentation. But one thing is that when you finish the fragmentation, the computer comes back like a new system. By the time you click something, you will see how the files would have been renewed. The files would have been renewed, they would have been, serviced. Let's use that word. The files on the hard drive would have been serviced. So they have been maintained. And so they are now perfect again, like when they were just being installed. So that is a defragmentation. So I think Abdusalam Adam, you got that answer well. If so, say yes. I want to hear yes from Abdusalam if you got that answer well. All right. Okay. So there's no other question. So troubleshooting. Somebody is asking about troubleshooting. Now look at the word troubleshooting. Okay, Mohammed Oluwaseyin say yes. Fine. Troubleshooting, Telaribunmi. Troubleshooting, look at the word troubleshooting. Trouble, shooting. Two words joined together to form one word in English language. It means searching for problem, looking for the fault, where the fault is on the computer. And that troubleshooting usually is what you carry out when somebody takes a computer, brings a computer to you and tells you that my computer is not working fine. I cannot do this, I cannot do that. You carry the system, I begin to search for where the error is, where the fault is, whether on the hardware or the software. That is troubleshooting. I think you get it. And that is when you'll be able to locate the problem, correct the problem, and make the computer function normally again. All right? So that is a troubleshooting. All right? So that is it. So don't forget, all of you, you need to subscribe to the channel. Some of you have not subscribed. I saw only about 80 something, and we have so many students, in this class and other departments that are also joining this live lecture. All of you should subscribe, whether from this department or other departments that are also joining. Subscribe. Click the subscribe button on the channel. All right? That will help you to be notified anytime I'm posting a new video on the channel. All right. Okay. So we move on in the lecture. Should we move on or we should have a small break? What do you think? Say something. Should we move on or we should have a break? Should we continue? I'm waiting for your answer, if you can hear me. Can somebody answer that question? Should we continue now or a break? Okay, somebody said we should have a break, maybe like 3 minutes or so. Or we should continue. I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on so that we don't waste too much time. Maybe in another 15 minutes or 20. Another 15 minutes or 20, maybe we should have a break, okay? All right. In that case, I will put my phone number here for those that are joining from other departments, so that when I start again, they will chat me up on WhatsApp, and I will give them the link to the new session. When I end this session, I'm going to start another one. Okay, that's my phone. For those that don't have it, that's my phone. Store it. When we start again, you can chat me on WhatsApp. Then I will send the link to you so that you can join. Now we're going to have a break now, and we're going to start again at 6:30. 6:30. 6:30. So I'm handing it. Handing now. At 6:30, we are going to continue. Thank you very much for joining.